This is just my opinion, but I think Alliance has done it once again. Hey everybody, welcome. Josh the RV Nerd here with Bish's RV down at Alliance today, and I've been following this floor plan on their website since I first saw the page update. This is my personal favorite couples camping travel trailer layout. Like if it was just me and my wife and just the two of us were gonna go out and go camping today with something only for us, this kind of floor plan is what I would look like. Now, there's probably over a dozen builders who make a floor plan like this. So why Alliance? Why go with Delta? Sometimes it really pays when a manufacturer is not the first one to pull the trigger on a floor plan. For instance, the pantry. In the kitchen, one of the most common mods I've seen people make in like the user forums of these is adding drawers to the pantry storage. So Alliance said, we could do that. We could do that right from the factory. You know, a little bit taller ceiling, the carpetless, ventless floor, the heavy use of composites that they're employing here, the enclosed docking center, the heated belly. It's all those things. You know, there's some brands that do some of that, but I've yet to see one manufacturer ace all of those things right here. If you prefer a true queen bed, this one might really be high on your list. They have a really nice storage arrangement around it right here. This model also provides excellent road mode travel access. It is totally turtle friendly, dude, as the Cowabunga kids would say. The hitch on the back, giving you a place for like a bike rack receiver. The standard solar package on the roof, the built-on ladder that is rated for more weight and makes for a perfect place to dry your towels outside. It's those daily use and creature feature functions that I really love and respect in these. Not to mention just the people at this company and the support that they offer their customers, I think is basically second to none out there. Now, it's got a couple little glitches, but for the most part, I feel like it's stuff that I can work around, but I'm going to try to disconnect myself and try to show you my impression of the good, bad, ugly with everything in between, and let you decide if it's the right one for you. And if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button, and let's get in there. Hey, so as we get started here, I need to maybe correct something. I'm not even sure what I might have just said because it's early. The caffeine is still on its process of kicking in. I think in the intro, I may have described this as having a taller ceiling. This is an industry conventional 6.5 foot floor to ceiling height. When you move up to full Delta, as opposed to Delta Ultralight, the little brother that we're in right now, then you move up to a 6'9" ceiling. And if you go up to Avenue from there, you pick up an extra 3 inches, which is a huge amount if you ask any guy, really. It makes a major difference in the you know, the perception of the space that you're looking at right here. One thing I respect that they do, they actually make life hard on themselves, which forces them to have good execution. You see this black line in all the slide fascia. It seems pretty innocuous, but if you look at this, there's actually like 7 pieces of fascia on this slide out. And if they don't nail it on literally one of them, the whole thing looks janky and cheap and very poorly executed. Something people have been asking about quite a bit. People will see like there's a little bit of a bacon ripple effect on the carpetless flap that hangs off the floor flush slide right there. And people see that and say it's a flooring problem. There's nothing wrong with the floor of the slide. So what you're looking at there has always been present in the RV industry. But when they used to put carpet strips in front of slide outs, you just weren't aware it was there. It's just, that's the result of taking a flap and hanging it down over negative space. Eventually something looks like bacon. And it just typically is a thing that happens. I don't love it. I'm not trying to make excuses for it. I'm just simply helping you understand why that's there. Little details like this, I love Alliance for. The shoe garage right by the door, the clutter cutter flip-flop shop. That is so handy. There's so many handy little features they included on this. Although I want to be fair, I have a couple personal little nitpicks as someone who camps myself. So I walked in this morning, I was wearing a jacket. There's no place in this camper to hang a jacket unless you're going to hang it in your clothing storage around the bed. That's the only place in this camper I could potentially hang a jacket unless I just want to drape it over something. So the things like that, though, when I say I have those little nitpicks and I could work around it, I could get a couple little coat hanger things. I could put them somewhere. I could find a spot in this camper to hang a jacket. If my life depended on it, I could create that. But It's the big things that they did here that I really like. Like, one of the things I recommend if you go shopping for RVs, when you see a dinette back like this with nothing behind it, grab this thing and like wiggle it really hard. This one's pretty solid. I've grabbed a hold of some that feel like they're made out of matchsticks. I'm normally not a super big fan of booth dinettes because they're almost always a knee knocker. Well, not with this one. They included a legless variant, basically, of a dream dinette system. So this still folds down into a sleeper, but now there's nothing down here banging into my shins. And the reason there it is, I was still fluttering down here. I wanted to see if they gave us a power outlet under that dinette. That's one of those things, again, if you've never shopped for an RV, you don't realize how useful that potentially can be. As somebody who camps and has been around the industry for a long time, that's one of those little details I look for, because if a brand wants to be $1 cheaper, they'll eliminate that. And a lot of people who don't know what they don't know won't catch it, you know? So I really respect how Alliance has equipped this for like real world use, but they did something here. I haven't figured out how they did this exactly. This has a full-on 3-seat sofa, which means most builders who make this, it's a 2-seat theater seat, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they gave us a triple theater, like lay down across it, lounge recliner with a center fold-down console armrest cup holder wombo combo. It's awesome. We're going to come back to it, but I don't know how they pulled it off without making the RV longer. You know, if you want to put a longer couch in something, usually it would be pretty easy. You just extend the RV a little bit to make room to put in a longer couch, but they didn't do that. This is still 26 foot, 11 inches tip to tail, tongue to bumper. How they managed to give us a 50% larger couch with 0% longer RV, I'm a professional looker at our campers. I haven't quite cracked the code on what they did. I'm still looking around. I'm still not figuring it out, but hey, the campsite window coverage on this is pretty good. I'm a little critical sometimes of the TV being mounted up a little high, but remember how this RV is not extra tall inside? In a way, that doesn't really bother me when it comes to general TV viewing, because I don't have to crank my neck up real high, you know? Now, up here, both bedsides have household and USB plugs, which is really nice. And I like that they don't give us just pockets by the bed. They give us full-on extension drawers. Actually, what's nice is you have 2 smaller drawers on either side of the bed, then 2 bigger dresser drawers under the bed with a big lift-up, what I call footlocker storage under the bed as well. And that is a true queen-size bed. It's a 60 by 80. That's a residential queen size. It's not one of these shorty little camp queens where the bed goblin, you choose your toenails while you're sleeping if your feet hang off the bed. You don't have to worry about that here. But what that means is, especially in a floor plan like this, that is an open concept design where it doesn't have a bedroom privacy wall. If you did want to exchange that factory backbreaker death wafer mattress that most of the RV industry uses, you could. And you could do so very, very easily. One thing I haven't pointed out, I think I gave you a quick sample of it in our initial kind of flyby footage. Standard blackout roller shades on here. And they just kind of, you know, roll up, tuck up out of the way. Also, the little details, like they give us the switches on the slide wall, or there's switches up by the headboard area of the bed for the lights just above you, so that everything is just a little bit simpler, a little bit easier. It's not that it's the end of the world to have to reach up to click off a light, but it's nice if you don't. It's nice if you can just reach right over and not have to stretch and get uncomfortable or anything like that. They just make it easy, you know what I mean? Now, diving further into the deeper details here, if you appreciate all the extra, you know, storage view footage, like some people are like, I don't need to see inside every storage compartment. That's okay. Skip right past this segment of the video. That's why I chapter mark this stuff. But the way I look at it, you are considering spending a lot of money, and I want you to see everything I can possibly show you so you know exactly what you're maybe getting for your money here. It also takes a ton of time, like to get you the extra footage with all the storage open and closed, because I'm a one-man show, basically. You know, the road mode, the slides closed, and I'm happy to do it because I know you folks, you know, appreciate and enjoy it. I'll keep doing it as long as you keep wanting to see it. I also want to point out they have nailed, I think, the storage around the bedroom so freaking hard. Like, you see, you've got the actually double and metallic struts holding open those cabinets, which have magnet holdbacks and hidden hinges. And also, notice how they gave you 2 full-sized overhead doors above the bed. Some manufacturers will give you 2 small ones, one on either side of the bed, if they enclose the storage. But that means that there's a dead middle pocket that you cannot easily access and use. And you're not going to have to deal with that here. Also, some people really want and need their hanging storage. And some people say, I have no use to hang anything. I need all of the folding shelf clothing space I can get. So they give you a choice. You can hang it, pack it, rack it, stack it, however you feel like it. And again, the easy extension drawers on either side of the bed. And I like that the drawers open up to you. Some manufacturers do a cute thing where they make the top of that side stand flip open. It looks really cool on camera. But in practice, you see that alarm clock? If that top flipped up, everything up there would have to get knocked off, basically. You'd have to pretend you're you're like my cat. He's like, oh, that's a nice thing you have on the tabletop there. It'd be a shame if someone were to knock it down, you know, because cats, why do we love these evil creatures? I love them, but they're so evil. You might notice, obviously, that TV can pivot around for some kind of easy viewing right here. You know what? I should have had this bed folded down for you. Give me half a second and I will do that. But in the meantime, notice that we do have easy access storage doors to the dinette here. If they don't include full drawers here, but a really easy, super low budget workaround that. Totes. Simple, easy, plastic. Get them from Walmart or Target. Totes my goats. Or if you live around my neck of the woods, there's another place called Meijer, but it's Meijer. It's a soft J. We don't see that in the American language very much. They're a more regional version of something like that. That's one of the things I enjoy about traveling. I see stores that I've never seen before, and everyone's like, what do you mean you've never heard of that place? Because it's just like such a daily part of their lives, you know? But enough about that. Back to the task at hand. That 3-piece sofa. I love that thing. It is so wildly cuddle compliant or massively population controlling. And you might have noticed, until just now, I didn't have the light on underneath of it. Let's say you have like a little grandkid or something like that, or you're just trying to see your way to the bathroom at night. It can be a perfect little nighttime indirect running light, you know, and just having extra places to keep your drinks. Now, look at that, man. You can both sides of the sofa can flat out 2-fist that thing. Because, hey, we've all been there. By the way, the sofa, inside the sofa does have USB plugs. Down there, you see the little light switch, that black circle on the inside. I also call that the thigh buster USB plug position. I kind of hate them there. But doesn't matter because they gave us some USB plugs off the side, at least for one side of the sofa. That is one of the 10 cubic foot variety 12-volt compressor fridges. I need to continue to mention the full sizing of these things because a lot of manufacturers have very silently reduced the size of their compressor fridges to try to save $1 or $2. What am I? Oh, outlets. Oh, okay, there we go. I was looking for power outlets, and holy crap, dude, they nailed the location of that right down at countertop level. The counter space around the stove is not symmetrical, but most folks are right-handed, so they did justify it so that, you know, if you're stirring stuff on the stove, it works for the majority of people. If you have a super eagle eye in floor plans like this, you might go, why doesn't the slide or the countertop in the slide match the countertop in the kitchen? And this is that extra detail that I love to arm you with. Basically, it's her fire code. They cannot raise the countertop in the slide where that stove is located because it would be too close to the overhead cabinets. And they can't shrink the overhead cabinets because it's a microwave. So it is what it is. They did the best they could. Oh, dude. Unless you see these 2 tall cabinets on the left, if they put the microwave there, that would eliminate that problem. I'm kind of liking that idea now that I think about it. Now, to help give you some size references, the pretend display dishes and placemats and stuff that were on the dinette top, I brought them over here. But real quick, before I get to that, you see that little black grate down there? That's actually it's part of your furnace system. That's part of your heat outlets right there. They built it into the base of that cabinetry right there just to make it a little bit easier. But to give you a size reference on the farm sink here, I took the the plates and the bowls from the dinette. I took the that little cup over there and your placemats, kind of like a dish drying mat, if that some people have, and I think that it's just enough. I'm glad it's not necessarily any smaller, but I think that they executed that pretty well and they gave us just enough space where we really, really need it. But this over here, like if you just walk through this RV, this is you're going to miss what I think is one of its best, smartest features for daily use and function. And this is a great example of why I love to take the extra time to open everything up for you. First of all, your converter, fuse box, charging center, very nicely tucked away, but very easily accessible when and if you need it. But right here, a lot of manufacturers have a big pantry in this space. And they said, what if the storage comes to you instead of you going to the storage? Now, all three drawers fully extend just like this top drawer does right here. But I kind of just wanted to do this in two ways so that you could take a look at this and get the full understanding of it right there. Oh, crap. I meant to, okay, we're going to have to do this in two stages. I meant to have the rest of the kitchen storage open for you as well. But the good news, with some Steven Spielberg movie magic, we can make that happen for you. I like how they threw the shelving in there. I didn't necessarily expect that. It really kind of maximizes the potential storage space. Now, something a lot of manufacturers struggle with on this floor plan, like under the sink in that back corner, that's where your water heater is located. And that water heater is located right next to the sink, right next to the shower. It will give you fantastic function as a result because it doesn't have a lot of plumbing to run through. But that wide open area right there is just begging for a big wastebasket, and that's a detail most builders of this layout miss. But so far, you haven't really seen any drawer space, and you're about to see one less drawer because that pots and pans drawer keeps slowly scooting itself shut. At least it was until I said something and put it on camera. Now you don't believe me, but it was doing it, guys, I swear. Anyway, once again, they make the storage come to you, and I think one of the most thoughtful details in this entire RV is that bottom drawer right there. Because if it wasn't there, to get to the back of the storage in that cabinet area, you'd pretty much have to get on your hands and knees and crawl and dig for it. And now the storage comes to you. It's just so thoughtful and so simple and easy. Another thing that Alliance does that you don't see, and not every manufacturer does this, they reinforce the bottom of their drawers. Now, I'm not going to say it's like rated to hold a bajillion pounds, but it's not terrible. It's just something extra to keep the drawers from kind of bottoming out. It was actually a factory employee that came up with that idea, but look at this. They call it Drawer Mix. It's drawerception is what it is. It's a drawer inside a drawer. And again, to help simulate, I took the little rolled up napkins off the dinette and threw them in there to simulate some actual silverware storage. This thing works. This thing works really, really well. I think that's a good fit. And because they went with a sliding pocket door for the bathroom, some manufacturers do a swinging door. A swinging door could smash an open drawer, or you could get unintentionally locked and blocked in that bathroom. Now that's just literally not possible. Literally. Anyway, I like folks that overuse the word literally. They always lean on it so hard. Obviously, space around the toilet is excellent. I slid that door shut. I had plenty of hip, shoulder, elbow room. I don't know that it's the fluffy, friendliest thing, but it's not terrible. That is also a soft close lid, which I think is cool. I normally would ding somebody for open face bath storage like this, but because the pockets are small and narrow, like it will tend to keep things like towels in there. And they gave us, I mean, you're going to have to get a reflection of me in this thing. Just, that's all I got for you, folks. It's easy to miss, but you do have some bathroom power outlets under the overhead cabinet up there. If you notice, stainless sink in that countertop. What do we got down here? Trying to go slow so I don't make you motion sick. All right, we got ourselves a couple good things. First of all, wide open, place for a wastebasket, but also a good look at the plumbing in here. Something that you see now. This is technically the most basic thing Alliance makes. And they have not sacrificed on their plumbing storage. It is all still PEX on PEX. It is not PEX on Flex. if you will. There's no flex hoses attached to PEX stuff. Technically, flex on PEX does meet RV water code, plumbing code, but a lot of people don't prefer it, so they don't do it. This does have one of those retractable kind of shower door things right there. And because, again, this RV has a conventional ceiling height, it means that if you're a little over 6 foot like me, your head's going to be up in the bubble, double, toil, and trouble. But at the end of the day, I don't think that's too awful bad. One of the cool things on this floor plan, though, is that it provides really good road mode access with the slide closed. And I think one of the best ways to demonstrate that for you is to actually stand back here and work our way forward. It is kind of crazy, though. You don't realize how big and deep a slide out is until you close it up. And then when you're in here like this, you're like, holy crap. But you do still have enough room right here to do a little turn on a catwalk, hey? And but the fact is, it's almost like there's a reason I call this floor plan a toter home. It's like a towable motorhome style floor plan. If you look at older style Class Cs, there's some that actually have a very similar layout to this. But the fact is, without ever touching the slide out, we can get to and fully utilize the bed. We can walk straight through the floor plan. We have our stove, our oven, the entire kitchen is available, the bathroom and the dining. This is about as close to perfect travel access as a RV with a big rack and pinion slide can give you. But the rack and pinion slide, one, is awesome for its reliability factors. It's considered the most reliable slide system. However, it does mean that the sofa should not be used and occupied unless the slide is fully extended. But that being said, for a quick travel stop, I don't know how big of a deal that is. If I need to plop myself down, I'll just lay on the bed for a minute. Not to mention, I'll have that dinette available right there. And this is reason number 37. I think this floor plan frickin' rocks my socks. And I'm still trying to figure out how they managed to fit that extra large sofa still within a 27-foot tip-to-tail length. It's the same size as everybody else that makes this, but the sofa's 50% bigger. I haven't quite figured it out. I'm going to have to take a second pass through this, but neither here nor there. One of the things I like to hit on when we step outside is I call it let's talk towing. Well, this one had, by the way, you might hear some stuff in the background. We are in an operational facility. We're actually on the PDI side of the Valor plant right now. They were kind enough to clear out some stuff and pull this in for us. So if you appreciate how they took a little bit of a time out for us to be able to get you this footage today, maybe drop them a note that says, hey, thanks, Alliance. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. But what's this one have going on? Well, one of the cool things that you can't see is the heavy use of composites on this. If you want to learn more about how Alliance RVs are constructed, I have 2 videos for you. One is a tour of one of their production facilities. They happen to be running Avenues, but basically their processes are all very similar. And also, I took a tour through their lamination plant so that you could see how the lamb witch actually comes together, how they make the goulash, as it were. Magnet holdbacks, not slam latches. When you move up to full delta above ultralight, that is something that you will start to pick up there. Another really cool thing they have is how do I say this? Single control multi-outlet hot and cold sprayer points. Log that in the memory banks. We're going to come back to that when we get to the pass-through compartment on the other side. They also include an extra long sewer hose tube over here so that you don't have to, store that with all your picnic stuff and get pink eye. The underbelly of this, it is enclosed. It is forced air heated. This is what we would refer to as extended season. This hasn't actually been tested, proven down to like 0 degrees. But for most people, like if you're going to chase the sun, or if you're not planning on camping when the snowflakes are flying, this thing is going to be aces for you. It is also a single point sewer outlet. We'll see that when we get to the backside of it. Talking about sewers and backsides, maybe not my finest flowery verbiage moment, but hey, there we go. Look at the awning. Holy cow. Hey, Cousin Garrett, RV Nerd Video Editor, can you drop the links and everything, like the awning size across the bottom of the screen there for everybody? That is a nicely sized awning. Now, I like to tell you what I call the good and the bad. I love the fact that we have those Goodyear tires down here. That's just a nice peace of mind factor. It's very conventional leaf spring level suspension. As you start moving up into like Avenue, you'll get some suspension enhancements. This is not riding on the traditional Lippert I-beam chassis. This is on the Norco Huck bolted Z frame. For those who are aware of the difference there, and if you're not, drop me a note, and I'll do my best to fill you in. There is a gas grill quick connect between the rear stabilizer and the rear tire, by the way. If I get down here, you might be just able to see it, that little flag thing kind of dangling down there. Now, remember that sprayer port that we were talking about? There's another one of those back here. And when we get up to the front pass-through compartment, you're going to see something that looks like hot-cold water knobs, because they're hot-cold water knobs. But they control the hot and cold water flow to all of the outside sprayer points all at the same time. So it's kind of like one control to rule them all. Now, a couple things with their ladder. First of all, it's rated for more weight than almost anybody in the RV industry gives you. It's 300 pounds instead of 250. They don't have to do that. They choose to do that. The second thing is look how wide the ladder is. A lot of brands won't do that because it creates extra opportunities for conflict with windows or anything else. It's a problem for RV design, but it's a problem that they wanted to take on for your benefit. Because one, it's safer. When it's wider, it's safer. It gives you a sturdier stance when you're clambering up and down that thing. Clambering is a word I don't get to use very often, so I try to when I can. For your safety, they've also included that extra little grab handle up there on the roof so that you can, see what you're, or be more sturdy and stable when you're coming up and down. But also that wide ladder is the perfect place to like dry beach towels or something like that. And that's one of those things that people just don't think about. They just don't think about until they already own the camper, unless you've already had one. By the way, that single sewer outlet back here in this rear corner. Now you might notice a couple things over here on the slide. You might notice these little black tabs on the side. That's to make sure the slide out wiper seals actually flip in and out the way they're supposed to. You can see how the stovetop does exhaust heat outdoors. Also, all tinted windows, and we are slide awning prepped, as those little brackets up there show you. Those little black rectangles in the upper slide corners. Here's the thing though, people will ask sometimes, if an RV doesn't have those, does that mean it's not okay to install a slide awning on it? Generally speaking, you probably still can. It's just, it helps you understand the idea that this one is definitely capable. So it doesn't mean other ones aren't. It just means you might want to ask an extra question here. So there's another of those hot cold sprayer ports. You got your outside, your black tank flush here. Now a couple of these hookups are outside. This is slightly an abbreviated version of their docking center. I do like how the battery disconnect switch is up a little bit higher so you don't smash it. Oh, hello. You see that little drill bit right there? That's what I call the cordless jack system. You get yourself the power drill, you hook that up, you pretend you're a NASCAR pit crew driver, and put your stabilizers up and down. Wow, big pass-through. Holy crap, man. Call the Batman. Thing is, when you're going to do the NASCAR pit crew stabilization method, you don't want to overcrank those suckers. Those corner jacks are stabilizers, not leveling jacks. Technically, I shouldn't even refer to them as jacks whatsoever. They're stabilizers. All they're supposed to do is come down to the ground, kiss the ground, and then that's it. Just to keep the trailer from rocking and rolling, from jiggle banging around inside the camper. Now, up front here, it's just the tiniest little thing, but you got the the Guantanamo Bay. You don't know where we're taking you to the black sight bag over the power tongue jack. It just helps keep the weather off that thing. So the tongue jack, basically the switches don't get fouled out when you're not using it. So leave me a note. Let me know what you think of this one. Where did they nail it? Where did they fail it? As I always do, I will drop you some links in the video description to double check pricing and availability, whether you're curious or whether you're serious. We have Alliance not at all of our stores, but at quite a few of them. I think like somewhere between 8 to 12. Most of our stores, I think, have Alliance available, meaning you could get this at more locations with Bishes than not locations with Bishes, if that makes any sense. Not to mention, we can deliver this stuff, and if you're nowhere near us, we always have our RV Fix program to help assist you with service needs, even if you're nowhere near one of our stores. That also, by the way, is something that's available to people that didn't even buy from Bishes. So kind of keep that in mind that we're trying to service everybody in this industry, one of the areas that needs it most. But again, let me know what you think about this. I'll leave you a bunch of links also for similar floor plans from other builders. If you have a chance, watch one or two of those and let me know which one you would go with and why. And if you appreciate what we're doing for you, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.